Hey, it's BrickTsar, and he's so stupid. So we're going to do a BrickTsar answer thingy. That's where I answer questions that you've left in the comment section with the hashtag BAT, BrickTsar answer thingy. And generally I try to stick with these being Lego related questions. So we're going to answer two questions in this video, one from Kevin F and the other is from JonnyBricks. And Kevin F ask a question about who is your favorite superhero and supervillain and why. And JonnyBricks asks, how do you store your Lego instructions? What is the best method for doing that? So I'm paraphrasing there. So those are two really good questions, and I thought I would tie them together in this video since I think they fit. And if you see this box here, it says Lego Inst on it, on the front of it. And this is my box of Lego instructions. Is it all of them? No. And so we're going to talk about that and talk about our favorite superheroes and supervillains. Who's your favorite? Your hat's on crooked. Anyway, let's start with a question about storing your Lego instructions. Did I call them in comic books earlier? I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, it's because they tie together. My Lego instructions I store in these boxes usually or in binders. Now, Lego instructions come in all different sizes. They come in sizes that are like magazine size. Like here's a large one for this TIE Fighter set. So that's a magazine size. And then there's more medium-sized ones like this. And then there's even the smaller ones like that. But so what I've done is, for instance, this is a magazine bag. Let's see if I can find a different one here. Here's a pod racer set. So the magazine bag has a lip on it, and you can fold it over and tape it. Tape is a very dangerous thing for comic books because if you're not careful and you're pulling the tape off, and the tape can stick on the back of your comic book and ruin it. I've had that happen before. So generally it's best to take the tape completely off and then open the bag. I'm not as worried about it with the Lego instructions. So cool set, Pod Racer. That's a cool set. That's not a cool set. It's a Prince of Persia set there. So the problem is when you're storing these in a box, and let's say you want to store them in numerical order, which I feel is the best way of finding your comic books, your instructions is in numerical order. But if they're like this is a 7,000 and these are in the 7,000s, they're together, and it's just they don't stack together really nice. It's better to have ones that are the same size. But if you store them just strictly by size, then you got to know where your medium size, your large, your smalls, your extra smalls, because usually sets are for a theme are grouped together with similar numbers, and I'm putting this back in here not in numerical order. I don't care, I'll fix it later. But so then you can have, well, that's a Lego idea book there. You never know what's going to be in here, and there's some, I got in some Bionicle magazines in there as well. So you run into a problem of trying to find things, so you got to have a system. So one way is you could have a separate inventory, and then you know where it is. And so if all your medium ones are all in the same box, then you'd have to look at your inventory. But I don't really want to keep an inventory as far as like where all my instructions are. So I think in numerical order is the way to go. I don't know. Tell me, what do you think? If you have 1,000 instruction manuals, how would you want to keep them organized? I'm still thinking numerical order because I tell you, there are so many times I'm looking for an instruction manual. I don't remember where I put it. Like a lot of these sets I've reviewed, we've done over 1,000 reviews here, really over 1,200 reviews on BrickTsar, and a lot of times I review them, I put them in the comic book bag, and I file them away. So really some of the instructions are stored pretty much in the order that they were reviewed. So if I don't remember that, then I try to find the instruction manual. I don't know where it is. Then I have to file through all the instruction manuals, which is another thing that causes them to get all worn out. So I'm thinking about putting them in my binders. This is how I store my BrickTsar magazines. Slide that over. Was I behind the box? I don't know. So I got all the BrickTsar and Lego Club magazines that were issued in the United States, and they're just in order in this binder. And I love these binders for these because this works well for those because they're also all the same size pretty much. So, and I'll store them in a filing cabinet just like that, because a lot of these pages I use are just the cheap ones and they're not real thick, and they'll kind of sag if you store them vertically, or is this horizontally? I don't know, I'm so stupid. No, you're so stupid. Alright, so that's that. So it's kind of the same way I store my comic books. So let's get to the next question. Alright. Actually, when I started YouTube, I was kind of experimenting with different types of videos, and I really, because I was a Lego collector and I never used YouTube for Lego, it didn't click with me to do Lego as the content for my videos. I had actually been trying to sell my comic books, so I was looking at ways of promoting that using YouTube. So I kind of started doing more things and looking at more things related to comic books. But Lego has really done a good job of producing a lot of superhero sets, and of course they're sticking to the popular characters, your Spider-Mans, Batman, Superman, Iron Man, Avengers, Wonder Woman, you know, just the really mainstream superheroes. There have been a lot of movies that were based on comic books that probably a lot of people didn't even realize that they were based on comic books, but Lego hasn't done some of those as minifigures. So if you're going to go by those, and probably my favorite would be Spider-Man. I was a big Spider-Man fan. I did like Fantastic Four. Lego hasn't done a Fantastic Four. And I like Batman. Batman's probably my favorite DC character. I collected all the Batman titles back in the day. And I did like Superman. But Superman and Spider-Man, those were two of the titles that kind of turned me off to comic books in 1996. Actually, Superman a little bit before then. I really loved the Doomsday storyline that went through Superman, but then, you know, Superman died and they brought him back, and I'm tired of this. It kind of was a running thing in comic books. They kill off a character and then bring him back. I mean, it's just or they'd reboot it. They rebooted Superman so many times, it's crazy, and then they try to reboot Spider-Man basically. So it's just I just got tired of it, and so I stopped collecting. And then I stopped collecting everything and moved on to other things. But so I still have some comic books that I'm keeping. And my two favorites are, we'll go with this one first. It's not really a superhero. I don't know if you can see it, but it's Gru the Wanderer. That would be cool. I'd be buying those if they were Lego. And my next one is Magnus Robot Fighter. Russ Manning did this comic book back in the 60s, and Valiant brought it back. And that's when I got interested in it, actually was when Valiant brought it back. And then I went back and got the 60s issues. I've actually thought about doing some Lego related stuff with Magnus. Now, as far as supervillains, that's a tough one. You know, you had the evil robots in Magnus. Probably, I would relate more to Spider-Man's villains that he had, in particular the Hobgoblin, which that one was a captivating story because they had this mystery of like, who is the Hobgoblin, and there were like little clues that were going on through the different issues of the different Spider-Man titles, and then ended up being Ned Leeds or somebody. You know what? It's been so long since I read it, I don't even remember. But that I like those kind of stories. And then, you know, I also like Fantastic Four. And, you know, Doctor Doom always seems to be the one that they use, because that was kind of a major character because he was really smart. Reed Richards is smart, and you put those together. But Doctor Doom was, I just wasn't crazy about him. Kind of liked other villains, like with the Fantastic Four. There's so many different ones. Probably Molecule Man. I liked him, and I like those kind of villains that are kind of torn between being good and bad, like Sandman with Spider-Man. That was pretty good. Now Batman has more of the iconic type villains. Your Jokers, your Penguins, Riddler. Everybody can kind of relate to those characters, and I like the Cesar Romero Joker on the old Batman TV show. So, but I didn't like the Joker the way he really is. So, the really dark, sinister Joker. I like the more comic one, like in the 60s TV show. So what's your favorite villain from comic books, and has Lego made that? What's your favorite superhero from comic books? Has Lego made that? How do you store your instructions? Do you even care? Do you throw them away like a lot of people do? What's your favorite method of doing that? So those are some really good topics. I really appreciate Kevin F. and Johnny Bricks for asking those questions. If you have a bad question, be sure to leave it in the description. I always say description. It's the comments. Sometimes we start to wonder who really is so stupid. So yeah, just leave it in the comments. Hashtag, that's the #, BAT, that's BAT, BrickTsar answer thingy, and I'll pick the questions that I use for this segment. I can't answer all of the questions, so make your question stand out, and I'll try to answer it. Thank you, and we'll catch you in the next video. This is BrickTsar, and so stupid.